pray your blessings upon our time, our speaker, and those who are listening. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Just a few things. After our speaker this morning, we're going to transition to the auditorium again. And then once we get in there, we're going to do some giveaways. Remember, you must be present to win. And everything that's on the table is fair game. Whether it's a large device or a small device, everything that's on the table is fair game. We do want to acknowledge our Bishop. Bishop Hill is here. We want to acknowledge Bishop Campbell, our host. Thank you for being so gracious. And I got to tell you, we've been treated very well by the people who are serving here at Cynthia Church. So let's go ahead and give them a hand. And I'm sure we'll have another opportunity to do that again a little bit later. But we're just so thankful that they are our hosts for this event. We also want to acknowledge our National Brotherhood President, who is here with us. Brother Eric Tanner, he is here. Brother, where are you? There he is. Good to see you. Good to see you. We'll allow him an opportunity to speak a little bit later. This time, we're going to jump right into the next segment, and that is coming to you for the regular now.
Good morning, everyone. Today we have a very special guest. He was cleared by our security, and we were able to bring him in. Welcome in, Lucifer. How are you doing today?
Well, good morning. Good to be here among my brethren. I see several of you that I know. Speak to you a little bit later.
What did you think about last night's presentation?
Well, I thought it was interesting. I've been to many of these men's conferences, 100 black men this, 100 men marching that. So I'm used to this type of conference, and I see it may be a little bit of a problem, but you know, our teams are always ready. We have Team Devil, we have Team Destroyer, we have Team Deceptive. We have a lot of teams, and they're always at the top of the standard.
Right. Are there any changes you're looking to make defensively or offensively?
Well, that's a good question, and without giving all my secrets away, we're going to continue to run the Apple offense. It's been successful from the beginning of time. We're going to run our deceptive defense, and that deceptive defense is just that. And it's been working well. So we're looking to continue to run those two. And I was looking over your program. I was able to get a copy. Don't ask me how. And I see this morning you're going to be talking about 4-down territory. Is that right?
Yes, we are. And that's all we have from you right now. We'll turn it over.
Let me say this before we go into that. Now, our defense is designed specifically to stop that. You know, we bend, but we don't break. We give people the illusion that they're doing well. And then when they get in that territory, we unleash our linebackers. And we have 3 terrific linebackers. Let me tell you who they are. Now, we have at middle linebacker, the pressure. On the outside linebacker, we have setback and discouragement. Now, when you get close in that 4-down territory, I unleash these boys, and they hold back nothing. So we're not really worried about them going up and down the field, but we will not cross the finish line. That's our plan. And so we're not worried, but we are interested to hear what your speaker has to say today, to see maybe if he has something new. But I looked at the report last night. Crime is still up, and my boys are still doing fine out there.
Well, that sounds mighty dangerous. All right. That's all will have from you now, we'll turn it over to Coach and General Manager.
Wait, one more thing. I saw last night y'all broke y'all huddle. I want to break my huddle. And all y'all who are here just going in with me on 3, I want you to say destruction. 1, 2, 3, destruction. Or those who have a spirit, let them hear what I just said. All right, go ahead.
All right, now that we've had enough from hosting, Coach and General Manager will have a segment on 4 down territory. We have Coach and General Manager Otis Reed.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Like he said, my name is Coach Otis Ridley from Jackson State University, Director of Player Personnel. He said General Manager, that's kind of my role. I handle all the recruiting, all the intake, the outtake, the professional side of it. Whatever you can say, dealing with a football player at Jackson State University, I got my hands on it right now. And it's been an honor. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi originally, just over this fence line, Presbyterian Hills. And so it means a lot to me. And I know some of you guys who can go back home sometimes and speak in front of people that you know and people that you kind of been around and grew up around. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. And I really appreciate this because I don't get to speak in this forum a lot of times. And I'm going to stay in my lane. I heard Bishop was in the room, right? Bishop, I know there's a couple pastors in the room, so I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm a football coach. I'm not here to create any new lanes in the ministry, but I am here to share a word that God's given me throughout my career and my testimony, so you guys kind of know where I came from to get to this point. First things first, I'm gonna jump into this real quick. Hopefully I can get it going. Let's see. Yeah, about 12, I'm down to 11. It's been awesome. It's natural, you know. It's fun. I can tell you, I love the preparation part of it. And see the working hours, then to see the smiles on the kids' face when what we're doing and what the plan we're putting together as a staff, it's effective. It's tremendous. And I gotta admit, man, that's just straight up, man. When I got the word that I was gonna be recruiting coordinator, I went to a dark place, man. I went to a dark place. I'm born to coach ball, so it's been an adjustment. It ain't was. It's been an adjustment. I'm still adjusting. You did a good job doing it, making it adjustment too. Well, accepting that role. You know what I think about? I think about the boys, the coach, and we always tell them, be ready for the adjustment, right? And be humble in their approach and be professional. And I refuse to not be indicative of that, be a shining example. It's all part of God's plan. Man, I'm telling you, man. He didn't come off quick, get time to leave us. All right, cool. This is a brief video. We got a docu-series going on YouTube right now called Coach Prime. All right, and that kind of gives you a little bit of light into what's going on with me in the past couple of years. In 2019, I took a job at Jackson State as an offensive line coach. I love coaching offensive line. That's what I do. I develop offensive line. I develop football players. Coach Prime came in September of 2020, and shortly thereafter we had a meeting. He said, I'm gonna bring in a O-line coach. I'm gonna keep you around. I'm gonna move you director of player personnel recruitment. So all right, I'm good. I'm gonna make it work, but it hurt. It hurt. And I had dealt with I've dealt with adversity, but when you work so hard at some guys and you really put everything into it, you don't usually look for that camera to hit you like that. You know what I mean? No matter what the pay scale was, no matter who I was working for. Yeah, I love Prime. I grew up watching Prime just like a lot of y'all did. But
but no different. That's even worse that your hero come in and tell you, what? Oh man, you ain't good enough to do this for me. You know what I mean? So with that being said, the past couple of years has been a major adjustment for me. I started off my coaching career. I played football at Mississippi State University. Started off my coaching career at Callaway High School here in Jackson. I had a lot of success at Callaway. Ended up leaving Callaway, took the head coaching job and replaced the legend at Program High School, Coach Willie Collins. Stayed there a couple of years. God blessed me to get a job with Colin Community College in Western Mississippi. I took that job as the O-line coach for a couple of years and got that call to Jackson State. So my career's been, up until this point, kind of doing that. And so when Pride hit me with that word, man, I took a couple steps back. Man, what am I going to do? My thing is, so my thing is servant leadership. That's me. That's me. That's where I advance myself. That's where I put myself in my place. That's where I stay locked in. And that's how I know that God got my back. Because if you start being a servant first, the rest of it will fall in line. All right, so Brother Jefferson gave me a topic. He said, 4-down territory. I'm right on with it. I love it. And we're gonna talk about the game plan for the servant leader. The game plan for the servant leader. So every Sunday night, the staff, we usually get in the office after the game. We usually get in the office around 2 o'clock on a Sunday. All right, give us time to go to church if that's what you choose to do, and most of us do. We go to church, spend time with family, go to lunch, and then we back at work. We work 7 days a week, so during the course of a season, a football coach really may only have 3 days off. So from the time we start August the 1st until we got through that celebration bowl, we probably had 5 days off. We work every day. And so 2 o'clock, we get in the office on a Sunday, we start preparing that game plan. We start watching film, we start breaking down film. We got the GAs putting in data. Football is a data-driven sport. It's a data-driven sport, so the numbers are important to us. So we go in, we put that information in, we kind of, do our process, we plug in, period it in, it shoots us out some information. All right, it shoots us information about ourselves. It shoots us information about the opponent. If it's 1st and 10, here are the runs they like to run. If it's 2nd and 7, here are the passes they like to pass. They like to go to the left side of the field 37% of the time. They like to run it. When they hand it off, they like to open to the right side of the field 27% of the time. Those type of numbers. So with that being said, I wanted to do something for you guys similar to that. A game plan of sorts. How you can attack each day, being a servant leader. One of the things we start off with is a self-scout. A self-scout. You cannot lead anybody unless you know what? Yourself. You gotta know what you are about. What makes a man? What makes you tick? What makes you go? All right, so the scripture I want to reference right here is 1 Timothy 4:16, the English Standard Version. It says, keep a close watch on yourself and on the teacher. Persist in this, for by doing so, or so doing, you will save both yourself and the hearers. Right. That's very, very good scripture. Very good scripture. And I'm not going to get into Timothy's story, but Brother Timothy's young brother in the church when he wrote this. All right. And so my biggest thing with Timothy, with this scripture, the second part of it, save yourself and the people that are listening. I don't get in front of a player or a team and not know what I'm talking about. I do not get in front of a player or a team and not know what I'm talking about, because guess what? The players can see through you quicker than anybody in the world. They can feel it. They can embrace ignorance quickly. They are very impressionable. So you can't get up there and not know what you're talking about. So that Sunday planning is very important when we go into that Monday morning 6 a.m. meeting with those players and get that scouting report presented. So the first thing we talk about, you get in what you put out. You get in what you get out what you put in. I got that wrote back, but you get out what you put in. So we like to think, sometimes in my experiences, I have players that come to my office and say, Coach, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I had a kid come in yesterday, Coach, when y'all gonna put me on scholarship? We ain't got the spring ball yet, we ain't put a pad on. He only been on campus a semester, he's a walk-on, and he come to my scholarship asking for money. Come to my office asking for money. And I told him, I said, what have you done? What have you put in? Coach, the whole fall season, I did everything I was supposed to do at practice. I had some good practices. I had a couple bad practices. But I did everything I was supposed to do. I said, but have you performed in the game yet? I can't necessarily put you on money. You came in as a walk-on. I can't put you on money if I ain't never seen you in action. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, my money is gonna be tied up into a guy that may not give me anything on the field. I just can't waste that money. All right, so I'm asking him, what have you put into this to suggest that I owe you a scholarship? And all he can say is, well, coach, I practice hard. Practicing hard ain't good enough, man. You gotta do it. You gotta show it in the time, at the time of competition. You gotta show it. I saw you fumble too in practice. Should I dock your pay for that? You know what I mean? Nah, coach, I want that full scholarship. But I told him, I said, look, we put on pass in 2 weeks. I said, we got 15 practices this spring. Let me see you put some work in, and then we'll talk about it a month from now. All right? So you get out what you put in. All right? You hear people say all the time, you can't go over there and overdraft a bank account. You're gonna put you get out what you put in the account. Because once you go over there and match what you put in, what's gonna happen? They're gonna start hitting you with some fees, man. And even today, they tell you, hey, up until $50, we'll let it slide. We ain't gonna charge an overdraft fee if it's under $50. No, you still gonna have to pay. You know what I mean? So you get out what you put in. The next thing, to thy own self be true. To thy own self be true. Guys, if you know speaking in front of people is not your thing, don't do it. You know what I mean? If you know that I see Brother Thompson in here. If you know driving trucks ain't their thing, Brother Thompson. That's right. They need to park that somewhere. You know what I'm saying? To thy own self be true. It's okay not to be that guy. Because guess what? One thing I've learned dealing with pride, and people can reduce you to what they want you to be. But if you walk in your purpose, guess what? He got to find say so. So I want self to be true. All right. And the next thing, what are the problem areas in my life? All right. So we're still on this self-scout. We're trying to figure out what's going on in our life. Because the enemy is not going to attack your strengths. What he's going to attack? The weakness. I'm not watching film to see as much, they're good in this area. I want to know where I can attack them first. I'm looking for the weakness. Even when I recruit a guy, when I recruit a young man, I got 150 names. I got a personnel board in my office. I got 150 names on there. I'm not looking for the guy that's the best player. I'm trying to find out why I don't need to recruit this dude. I need to get him off that board. That's how I recruit. I don't look for the best because all of them good. That's why they're on my board. But I need to figure out what about his character suggests that I need to get him off my board. He don't need to come to Jackson State. He can't handle the city of Jackson. You know what I mean? So how do I get him off his board? All right. So with that being said, what are the problems here? What are my weaknesses? We'll get into some of them. I ain't gonna get ahead of myself. Who's in my circle? Look at me at the table with you. That's part of your circle now. You got some good brothers at those tables with you. But when you leave out of here, what kind of dudes you hanging with? All right. You know what I mean? Like if your values on Saturday morning, you had sent the Church of Christ Holiness USA, you over here on Saturday morning, but tomorrow morning or Monday morning, you down at the Blues Club, and y'all hanging out instead of being where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, just because you do it for 3-4 hours, I ain't gonna commit it. I ain't gonna commit it. And guess what? When you walk out of here, your circle tell you, hey man, let's go get some blues and chase women. I know. You go to smile. That's what happens. You go to smile. No. But what's your circle? Because your circle, the biggest influence in my life, I don't have a big circle. I got 2 or 3 guys that I rely on. All right? And everybody may know Coach O, but Coach O don't know everybody. That's right. And I tell people all the time, when you have access to me, be very appreciative of that access because everybody don't experience you. I said that for a reason. You need to value yourself and your time to the point where your circle understands that you experience to be like this brother. Hey, there's a million other folks that would love to do this. They're not worthy of my time. You know what I'm saying? Next thing, where am I spending my time and my money? We all men in here, we know, hey, where your money go, that's how we operate. Am I lying? You man. When you spend your money, usually your heart gonna be attached to it. If you got a ride, you want that ride on more than 0 turn, guess what? You probably gonna be out there 2 or 3 days a week because they right. You know I ain't lying, right? When you spend time and money, right? When you chasing that woman, when you courting her, You gonna do it for free? Huh? She ain't gonna let you, she's not gonna let you marry her and she ain't seen what you're worth. I'm just, where you spend your time? Where you spend? All right, brother Tom, I'm sorry. You just have a wedding anniversary. Y'all renewed your vows or something? Can I say that?
You know, we just celebrated 32 years.
30, but that's congratulations. That's like they clap up for 32 years. Out of those 32 years, there's been a lot of time and money being spent. And guess what? She values you even more because she knows you value her. Right? But that's what I'm telling you. Time and money, where are you spending it? If you self-scout that thing, you really look at it. I'm spending my time and money on stuff that ain't going into my life. I ain't getting no return on investment. All right. Come on, man. We need to reevaluate that thing. Next, where are you emotionally invested? If you know you're a hothead, we got some hotheads in the room. We do. Ain't no hotheads in the room, man. Come on now. There's some hotheads in the room. Say the wrong thing, man. It can be one word, you ready to take off. Guess what though? Wherever you are emotionally invested, that's really where you're going to end up finding destruction. I'm serious. You know, there's some good things to be emotionally invested in, but those same good things can turn you and get you off track. All right? So where you are emotionally invested is very important. That's the self-scout part of this thing now. The self-scout. How do I attack my enemy without knowing myself? The opponent personnel overview. This is another deal we got in that game plan these weeks. All right, so we looking at the personnel. I heard Lucifer up here talk about his linebackers. Talk about the D-line, you know, we looking at the opponent personnel. All right, who's the weak link? How are they going to attack me from their side of this thing, right? And so, before we do not wrestle, everybody know this scripture, I've heard it, against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers over the present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places, Ephesians 6 and 12. So I got a couple points right here about the opponent, right? Things that distract us as men. That's really the ultimate opponent for a man is distraction. Distraction. Whatever your goal is, the distraction is the opponent. All right, so the first thing, the promise of tomorrow. The promise of tomorrow. Everybody told you tomorrow ain't what? But you keep living for it. You ain't living for the day, you're living for tomorrow. Everybody guilty of that? I'm guilty of it. Man, let's be real. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of living for tomorrow. Because I'm scared I lose that paycheck today. Ain't no tomorrow. Right? So I'm living for tomorrow. But guess what? The promise of tomorrow will get you left. It'll get you left because you're worried about things that you cannot control. Amen. Yeah. God deals in the present. He got the future already planned out. But He's working on you in the present. Yeah. I'm serious. He's working on you in the present. He's working on me in the present. I told my wife a couple weeks ago, she was getting on me about something. I said, God, prove me yet, babe. I'm sorry. I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. Did it work? No, I didn't do it. But the promise of tomorrow, the promise of tomorrow, man, I'm telling you, you can't worry about tomorrow. When we talk about practice and we talk about building our game plan each day, so on Mondays we usually watch first down and second down. Okay? Watch first down, second down. Third down usually comes on Tuesdays. All right. So we don't get ahead. Every week it's the same deal. Every Monday we're gonna watch first and second down. Every Tuesday we're gonna watch third down. Also on Mondays we're gonna make sure we watch runs on first and second down. We're gonna focus on runs. Okay. So that Tuesday practice we'll start moving towards third down game plan. But what I'm telling you is we don't get the cart before the horse. We got a process that we're going to follow every day. All right? Every day for 12 straight weeks, we're going to repeat that process. So on Saturday morning, when we get up, it's like a machine. The guys are programmed. But we don't worry about tomorrow. We worry about today. The guys don't worry about the result. They worry about first down. That's what we try to focus on. Don't worry about when the clock says 0. We ain't got that for you. It's first and 10. What you going to do right now? The next thing, the regret of yesterday. Anybody made some mistakes yesterday? Just yesterday. I'm talking about just yesterday. I made a mistake yesterday. I called a recruit yesterday, and when I got off the phone with him, I knew. I said, you know what? I just wasted 15 minutes of my time. It was a mistake. I can't regret it though. You gotta move on. All right? The reason I said the regret of yesterday is an opponent and a distraction for us because you made the mistake, and that mistake gonna ride with you. The mistake is gonna burn you up because you was emotionally invested in that deal. Whatever you had going on, you was emotionally invested and put some time and money into it, and guess what? It failed. Now it's a new day, and what you think about? You still think about the mistake you made. You ain't think about how I can fix it today and make it better today. You think about the mistake I made yesterday. You just think about the mistake. You understand what I'm saying? You thinking about the mistake. You ain't thinking about the process. You think about the failure. That makes sense? Yeah. You think about the failure, you can't be that way. That's a distraction because guess what? You're not living because you're worried about the past. All right, the next thing, the pursuit of perfection. I don't know anybody walking this earth that's perfect. Y'all know anybody? No. Nobody. I know one man that came on this earth that said he was perfect. And the thing I try to do, and I encourage you brothers, I know a lot of you do, is to emulate that, but can you ever attain it? You can't attain perfection. But you can pursue it. I get it. You can pursue it. I get it. But guess what? In your pursuit of perfection, who are you leaving behind? What areas in your life are being overlooked because you pursue perfection and something that God didn't even ordain you to do? One of the things I struggle with is my divine assignment and my human ambition. Everybody got that? Yeah. A lot of you brothers got a divine assignment, but your human ambition won't let you see your divine assignment through. You're a leader, but human ambition tells you, hey, you need to keep working this 9 to 5 and work for somebody. But he put it in your life to be the leader of the company. That's your divine assignment. Don't let human ambition, just because it's comfortable today, it was comfortable yesterday, and you think it's going to be comfortable tomorrow. Don't let human ambition block your blessing that God ultimately had for you. A lot of us won't be millionaires because guess what? Our divine assignment was missed a long time ago. That's just it. And honestly, you wasn't here to be a millionaire. You was here to be a thousandaire. Guess what? He's still going to bless you abundantly. That's just what it is. All right? Next thing, the desire of wealth. Just talk about a little bit. Money. And I want y'all to understand this. This is not just for you guys. This is a part of a presentation that we do for our players. All right, so we do leadership development in the team. We talk about the same stuff. So the desire of wealth, like I just talked about, everybody want to be rich. When you come on social media, when you come to TV, everybody's glamorizing this rich lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I'm good with how we live now. I'm telling my wife, we got a nice house at Clinton. I'm comfortable. But if I keep worried about wealth, then my heart is going to lose its way. All right. Money is the root of what? All of it. Did it say so? It said love of it, right? Love of it, right? That's how you stay on play on the scripture. But the love of money, right? All right, so if the love of money is the root of all evil, but you keep chasing. But if you chase kingdom, if you chase the ultimate, is the kingdom, right? That's what you really chase. All these things. Let me stay in my place. The pool of comparison. The pool of comparison. Kind of just hit that a second ago. Social media, right? You come on social media, you scrolling. Man, that's a nice hat. I wish I had that hat. Man, that's a nice suit. I wish I had that suit. Man, that's a nice truck. I wish I had that truck. You steady scrolling. You steady wanting what somebody else got. Steady scrolling. Man, that's a beautiful woman, but you got a wife. Come on, man. Steady scrolling. About a month ago, after sign day was February 4th. I went to Coach Prime office there. Prime, as y'all know, he's big on social media. That just drives me crazy. And as director of player personnel, I have to be on social media with him. All right? I told Prime, I said, Prime, let me take this about. I said, I need to get off social media. I need to delete off my phone. Just give me a month. I really wanted to do it all the way up until fully to put it that way, but he said, you got 1 week. All right, cool. That's my boss. I got to do my boss. And that's part of his program. But I needed this about it. Even that 1 week, man, you'll be surprised how clear the thoughts here. You'll be surprised how clear your heart is when you just eliminate some of that foolishness, man. Because you can't escape it as long as you scroll. It's gonna find you. It's gonna find you. Just man, take Facebook off your phone for a little while. Take Instagram off your phone for a little while. And you will realize, man, you know what? A lot of those really things that I think are cool and I like, it really ain't no thing. And my happiness is with this person I'm with every day. My happiness is going to work and developing these young men. My happiness is found in just solidarity, knowing I am a child of the King. Yeah. That's my happiness. But you won't ever see it if you.
Come on, that's fine.
Yeah. Man, that look good. Yeah. You ain't gonna see it that way. Amen. All right, last thing. The appeal of pleasure. Brian has it saying, don't lose a lifetime of happiness for a moment of pleasure.
What y'all know?
Don't lose a lifetime of happiness for a moment of pleasure. You'll be surprised. We had a Title IX meeting. Anybody know what Title IX is? That's a serious word. I'm telling you now. You hear Title IX run? Serious run. All right, so we had a Title IX meeting the other day. Title IX is, for you guys that don't know, it's the protection of women and men, for that matter, in the workplace, at the school, or wherever it may be. But it's protection, all right? But the attack on men, Title IX is kind of intertwined into that thing, all right? We had this Title IX meeting, and Title IX, is telling you, hey, this is sexual harassment. This could be viewed as sexual assault. Don't do this, do that. Get a contract signed if you just need to have some documentation at this point. I had a player, Tony Crazy. Tony's crazy as all get out. And Tony, he asked the lady who was presenting, but what protects the man when the man did nothing wrong and the accusations are false? Right. How is he going to be vindicated? How is he going to be protected? Because now it's gotten to the point where when it hits the fan, when it hits the table, they can put it out there. Everybody knows, right? So how do you protect the men who are just good brothers and they're getting falsely accused? You do know it's evil women in the world, right? But a lot of them were not put here for no benefit. That's right. Ask Alan. Don't lose a lifetime of pleasure for a moment, a lifetime of happiness for a moment of pleasure. Yeah. All right. The play of attack. So one thing we got to do is reduce the baggage. Reduce the baggage. What can anybody? We'll take this like a Q&A a little bit. Anybody got some baggage? Give me an example of some baggage in your life. I got some baggage. I'm gonna share it with you, but anybody else? No, anybody got no baggage? I want to share. What you got?
Coach, one question. Yeah. Are you gonna be able to forward this to us?
Sure.
Right now.
No, you can get this. I forward Brother Jefferson. He can share.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anybody got baggage? Anybody want to share?
Yeah.
What about anybody? There you go. Debt. I love it, brother. What about baby mama? I know everybody got their problem. I know I had a problem. I just bring it up. That's good. Child support. Everybody got child support. Anybody got a horrible boss?
Oh yeah.
Anybody got some of that? Oh, yeah. That's baggage. Because guess what? You could get another job. I'm just I'm not talking to you in particular, but as far as from a baggage standpoint, if I wanted to relieve myself of that situation, I could probably make the change, right? Baggage, in my life, baggage. I guess the biggest thing for me is players from my past still want stuff. That sounds crazy, but that happens, right? So I got players from 5-6 years ago that I coached that didn't get the picture when I was coaching them, but now they want you to be step-dad. Right, wrong. I'm serious. Now you'll be surprised how many calls I get on a daily basis. Hey, coach, can you train me today? Dog, that ain't my call no more. I moved on. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Some of y'all get calls to do stuff that you did in the past that you can't do now, but you still get calls to do it. That's a form of baggage. That's a form. Is it actually working you towards your ultimate goal? It ain't. That's a form of baggage. And so, me telling you to reduce the baggage, just like I tell the players, hey, big dog, I ain't got time, dog. I'm gonna be working from sun to sundown. We working every day to end with a Y. I ain't got time. All right, so I gotta reduce that baggage. The next thing is, they find your purpose. Find your purpose and attack it daily. Going back to what I just told you guys. Struggling with divine assignment, right, and human ambition. It gets cloudy. You get confused sometimes. The two can get intertwined because you think what's on your mind is you think God put it there. But it could have been something you saw on social media and you saw still working for somebody else. Now you think it's gonna work for you.
Come on.
It's cloudy and judgment. All right. So find your purpose. I can't tell you what your purpose is. I think my purpose is leading young men. I had a friend who said, "Hey, you gonna be a preacher?" I said, "Nah, that ain't my purpose. I'm gonna stay in my life. Now God He may want me to be in the ministry, but my ministry is with these football players. Because guess what, guys? I have the greatest impact dealing with them 18 to 22-year-olds, and I don't think I can have that type of impact in the church. Let me just be honest with you. The conversations I have with these young men, I get to talk to a room like this every day. And if I can pour into an 18 to 22-year-old man every day and try to change him just a little bit every day, by the time I get through with him in 4 years and send him back to his mom and daddy, he ain't gonna want to move back in that house. That's what I'm thinking about every day. What am I gonna do today to help you move forward in your life so when you go back home, you're a community activist and not a community drainer?
Come on. Yeah. Come on now.
That's what we talk about.
Yeah.
So when you talk about finding your purpose, sometimes you gotta step back, look at your circle, right? Evaluate what goes on daily in your life, and figure out, is this what I'm really supposed to do? Just because it makes you happy, don't mean God gave it to you for that.
Come on now.
I heard an example of this. Young man is saved, and he think his purpose in life is to be like the next Luther Vandross. He worked at it every day. Months and months on him, just kept working at it. He wanted to hit them notes. Wanted to be that big Luther too. He wanted to hit them notes, right? so that being said, he kept working at it. He got voice lessons. Had a good band back. He got all this stuff to go in his way so he can sound like Luther. And guess what? When he got to his first performance, I think he sounded like Luther. No. He ain't sounded nothing like Luther. And guess what? That's what God gave for him. And that wasn't his talent. That wasn't his assignment. He wanted it to be his. That was his ambition. He was just supposed to be the producer. But he missed it. That went with his head. He was supposed to be the producer, but he ended up wanting to be the producer, the manager, A&R. He wanted to sing. He wanted to do it all. He wanted to be the backup singer. He wanted to do it all. But you were just supposed to be the producer. You done missed all your money, all your excitement, all your fame, all your joy, all your happiness, because you want to do everything instead of what God told you.
Come on now.
All right, so love them in spite of, man. Come on, man. Come on, everybody say, love them in spite of. Love them in spite of. Love them in spite of.
Yes.
How hard is that, guys? It's hard for me. I'm very wrong. It's hard. It's hard as a man, You got a man's man in here. Like you know it's hard when that dude wronged you, or that young lady wronged you, or that boss wronged you. It's hard to look at them and love them in spite of them.
Come on.
You ain't never got to tell a person you love them to love them. It ain't the word. Y'all know that by now, right? It ain't the word, it's the heart. One of the things I would say about me, and I think Brother Jefferson will tell you, is I ain't changed much since you had me in middle school, have you? I ain't changed much. My heart has always been for people. And that's why God keeps blessing me. Because I want to see everybody in this room win. no jealousy, no envy. If you win, we're gonna celebrate together.
Come on now.
And that type of attitude is a blessed attitude. I want to bless you with my energy. Because God lives inside me. And if I can just be around you, be in the room, which I know you're gonna get some of this, guess what? You're gonna walk a little bit different when you get away from me. You know what I'm saying? So love in spite of, because guess what? Your blessing don't come in just dealing with them. Your blessing come in giving them the energy and the peace of mind to know, when you're in the room with me, God, ain't no hatred in this room.
Come on.
Some people are automatically on the defensive because that's all they know. They come from families, they come from situations where they have to fight for everything. And you being a good man, just being a solid brother, it's just sometimes just the best thing they can have in their life. People say, hey, oh man, you just a good dude, man. And I tell them quickly, I could be a good dude or I could be a bad dude all in the span of 10 minutes. Because I have had situations where I've put a kid on scholarship in 1 minute, and then the next kid that walked in, I told them, we're gonna have to move on from it. So it's all about the perspective. But when I tell that kid I gotta move on from him, my heart won't let me just push him out the door. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get on the phone. I got my brother here. I thought I saw him back in Pat. There you go. I got people like Pat Austin. Pat, I got a kid. I need to get a place somewhere. You gotta call a couple people and see if we can get him moved. We're not going to play no more. Hey coach, I called Hines. Hey Larry, I got an old line I need to release. But I need him to keep playing. But he just can't get it done here. You got room for him. My heart ain't gonna let me just cut you. I'm not trying to cut you. You know what I'm saying? So when even when you have to be in a position where you have to cut somebody down, when you have to hurt them, when you have to do it like Prime did me. Y'all remember that? We ain't too far from there. Like Prime didn't know he was helping me. I didn't know he was helping me at the time. But I'm gonna tell you something in a minute. I'm gonna tell you how he helped me. I'm gonna minimize your distractions. Minimize your distractions. I ain't gonna deal with that too much. What's your distraction? What's your distraction? Like I said, it might be that nice truck. It might be women. It might be money. It might be alcohol. I don't know what your vice or your distraction is, but you better minimize it. Visualize the wins. This is one of my favorites. It said, write the vision, what make it what? Come on, man. Make it what? Make it plain. Anybody got a vision for their life and it's plain? You see it. I don't care if you're 10 or you're 70. You still got to have a vision for the end. And the vision adjusts everything. All right? The vision adjusts everything because you're going to have obstacles that's going to change the pathway. So you got to be able to adjust. Remember I just told you in the beginning in that opening clip, I think about the kids, and we always tell the kids to do what? Be ready for the adjustment. Be ready for the adjustment. When we play a team, what they showed us on film ain't necessarily what they're going to come out there with. You better be ready to adjust, because I see a lot of Jackson State jerseys and fans in the building. We got some of the meanest fans in the world. That ain't mean, man. And guess what? Y'all some of the best fans too, because you hold us accountable. And that's cool. But if we ain't telling these players to be ready for the adjustment, their accountability is going to swing quickly. Because Jackson State like to fire folks. They like to get rid of them. Right? So visualize the win. Visualize the win. You see yourself owning your own company, see the result. See it. Look at it. Now I know I just told you don't live for the future. I know I just told you that this ain't living for the future. This is aligning myself with my end goal so my next step, me and God can walk in sync. Yeah. But if you ain't clear on what you're trying to do in the end, guess what? You ain't gonna be able to take the next step. This step's gonna be scattered. It's gonna be all over the place. One day you're gonna want to be a doctor, next day you want to be a lawyer. So make sure, visualize the win, visualize how you're gonna be successful, visualize what you want to do. I'm in the church, so I'm not gonna lie to you, and I cry to you before I lie to you. Listen, I was at Northwest Middle School. I used to go to Jackson State games every Saturday morning. And all in my mind, I can't wait to be on this side. This is 12-year-old me. 12-year-old me said, I can't wait to be on that side. I ain't player, coach. I didn't know. I can't wait to be down there in that energy. I want to be down there. That man, I tell you, we talked about it before. When we were coaching at Callaway High School together. Man, I love coaching Jackson State. I didn't say that was my end game. That was a part of my vision. Man, look at me, man. It came to fruition. But I thought about it day after day. And my steps, some kind of way, started in order. You know how many college coaches have to move around the country to obtain what I've obtained, and I ain't had to move my head this year? Everybody on the staff, even my buddy you saw there, Coach T.C. Taylor. T.C. Taylor's been to Houston, Texas to coach college football. He has been to North Carolina to coach college football. All right, but here his boy is, high school coach in Jackson, Mississippi, college coach in Western Mississippi, still ain't left my house. And now college coach in Jackson State, still ain't left my house. God's good. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I really feel like because I saw it happen way before it ever happened. I saw how God wanted me to move way before I ever took that first step. And I stayed faithful to it. I stayed faithful to him. I stayed faithful to loving people in spite of. When they wronged me, when Brian wronged, when I felt like he wronged me. When I felt like, I didn't say, so y'all talk to him and y'all stay. The words get, you pass that word, and he got to say he ain't Be thorough, be thorough. This is a lost art in manhood. Growing up, my family's trade was construction. We built several churches, and I was a cleanup guy. I ain't doing him, but it was construction. And one thing about my grandfather at the time, he was very meticulous. My grandfather was 96 years old, and he just did a roof last week. They still do a roof. He's 96. Pastor Willie T. Berry. Willie T. Berry. Pastor Willie T. Berry. And we call him Papa. And he still gets around. But the thing I love about him, and I learned from him, he was meticulous in every measurement. Because he didn't want to measure twice. Yeah. You get it done the first time, you do it right. Take your time and do it right. Right? He was meticulous. But that wisdom I learned from him, be patient. Stop rushing. It may take this Mexican crew over here 2 months to finish this whole church. It may take us 6. But guess what? When I hand them keys over to the pastor, he gonna see the craftsmanship in my work. He gonna see the effort that I put in. He ain't gonna see no cut corners. And he's gonna appreciate the finished product. Be thorough. You a man. One thing that women need, that children need, that the world needs, thorough meaning. That's right. Stop leaving stuff up for changes. If you know you want it, go follow the steps to get it. Don't just cut a corner just because you know you can get to Atlanta by doing 90 miles per hour, you can get there in 4 hours instead of 6. No, take your time, brother. Because there's going to be some traffic along the way anyway, it's going to slow you down. So why rush and put yourself in harm's way? All right, that's a metaphor. This other, you know what I mean? 90 miles per hour in Atlanta might be just 20 miles on the highway in Jackson, Mississippi, but you're still going to a destination you put yourself in danger. However you get there, make sure you're thorough in how you get there in your direction. Be consistent. Be consistent. One of the things I just told you, we follow the same schedule all year. So by the time you get to the middle of the season, you came off a bye week, your players don't have to even look for a schedule no more. They program. Football coaches are creatures of habit. All right. If Brian wants us, he say, "Hey, we got a 6 o'clock meeting this morning." If you come at 5:59, what you think he's saying? You late, dog. You late. You coming at 5:45? We can vibe with that, right? But be consistent. Be consistent. If you're gonna be a butthole, we're gonna work on you. We're gonna work on you. But don't be a problem child one day, and the next day you come in here being an angel, and you think you're gonna get consistent leadership with me. No, I'm gonna put you in your place. And then when you lose trust in that person, and you put them over in their place, and you kind of, I'm gonna let you figure this out on your own, what they come back and do? Coach, I'm gonna get it right. I got you, coach. I don't want to get cut, coach. I want to go to Miami, coach. I want to go to Memphis, coach. I want to make the trip, coach. But guess what? When you're consistent in how you practice, when you're consistent in how you deal with your teammates, when you're consistent in your discipline, when you're consistent in your weightlifting, when you're consistent in your academics. Because I guarantee you, on a football team of 105 players, you probably only got about 25 that's consistent. There's going to always be issues. But the more we can get them guys to be consistent, the more we can be consistent in what we're doing, the end results will always favor us. Because the consistency says you're putting the work in. That makes sense? The consistency says you're putting the work in. Anybody worked, expected a check, and didn't get the check? Anybody worked a job, going into the job, there was an expectation that I was going to get a check. I worked my butt off in that job. And when I left that job, boss man had my hand out. And he, all right, brother. What's going to happen? That's what, hey, now we can find that high end. Where you at? Be consistent though. Be consistent. Last thing. Be a servant first. Be a servant first. All right, so going back to all this, man, so kind of bring this full circle with the whole crime deal and him move me directly to player personnel and me struggling with it on the front end, me not liking the idea of it, for me adapting to it and really trying to make it work for me. So he moved me to that spot. I worked it, did what I had to do, really put everything I had into it, learned, went and spent time with the University of Alabama staff, got a lot of stuff cleaned and stole with everything I could from them. And then, you know what? I went to Prime. I applied for an internship with the NFL. And me and Prime, we talked, but we at this particular point, this is probably it was February of 2021. We talked, but we didn't have in-depth conversations by this time. So I applied for the internship, left it alone. Then about 3 months went by, and that deadline was approaching where they were going to make a decision on who they were going to take. And so I just kept working. Didn't worry about the result as far as I knew it was going to be a good job, because that's what I do. I work my butt off to make sure the end result is going to be fine. But I kept working. Didn't say anything to Prime about it. Got all my reference letters. Got a reference letter from a coach at University of Florida. Got a reference letter from a coach at University of Colorado at the time. Got a reference letter from one of my old bosses. So I got all that turned in. I ain't used Prime no more. So fast forward, 3 months go by. I see that deadline approaching. Me and Prime sitting outside talking. God, he'll make it work for me. I'm telling you that. So we just talking. First day we ever really just had a one-on-one talk. We had conversations, but always would be other people around. And one thing about Prime, you can't have a genuine conversation like you want to if it's more than 2 people. Because it's just not gonna work. You know, he's gonna get into character at some point. He's gonna get the prime time character. So I had a one-on-one. I said, hey coach, man, look, man, I applied for this internship with the league, and I ain't heard back from him yet. I ain't saying I didn't get it, but I didn't want to use you for that unless, it just came down to the nitty-gritty. And I still don't want to use your reference code, but if you could, just check and see, if there's any movement on that thing. Before I could get them words out, he had me on FaceTime with Mike Zimmer. Wow. Mike Zimmer was the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings at the time. And he said, Mike, I got my dog, big old here, man. I need you to take care of him for me. Okay? I was blushing. I was happy. Okay. All right, so he said, I tell you what, this is funny, email your resume to, what's his name, Pat? Rick. Rick Spielman, the GM for the Vikings. And so, my mind, I'm like, okay, gotcha, no problem. I go look for email, what an email? Man, they got to put that in email on the internet. He ain't giving no email now. He just said email the resume. So I'm trying to figure out how he said get out of work. My best friend had already worked for the Vikings a year prior to me. That dude right over there in the corner. He had already worked for the Vikings. So, hey, Pat, send me Bruce Field the email. Oh, just like that. God made a provision more than one way, man. Y'all don't get that, dude. These two Mississippi boys. Jackson, Mississippi boys. It ain't processing for y'all yet. Huh? How in the world is me calling him another Jackson, Mississippi boy to go get this joke of Minnesota Viking general manager email? Just two Jackson, Mississippi boys. Amen. All right, baby. So I got an email.
Callaway Bowl.
Huh?
The Callaway Bowl.
Well, yeah, something like that. You got to tell Brother Porter about it. I didn't coach at Callaway. I played at Provine, but yeah, I'm with you. Everybody some Provine folks in here, so I had to kind of, you know. But yeah, so with that being said, ended up getting an internship with the Vikings. So I spent some time with the Vikings in the player personnel department. One of the greatest experiences ever. But it came because the man who had, I thought, moved me to the side, he saw what he had. But the work came in on my end, I just started suffering. I wanted to be depressed, but my character wouldn't let me go there. My character wouldn't let me go there. I wanted to get it up. Like, man, I should go back to high school with this foolishness. Man, I like consistency. I like knowing. No, dog, that ain't what God called me for. And just because all the distractions, get all that out of the way. All the naysaying, all forget all that negative stuff, man. All right. Just work. Yeah. And the same man who I thought didn't believe in me showed me that, you know what? I believe in you more than you ever do. I so fast forward. We just lost a young lady, Miss Victoria Williams. She took a job with Alabama State, and more power to her. So she was the director of football operations, and I was the director of player personnel. So we did the administrative side of it. So my role initially was to be the director of player personnel, right? And I have influence over the whole team. Director of football operations, they kind of control the structure of how things go. So we go on trips, just day-to-day activity, whatever. They kind of handle the actual operation of running a football team. All right. So Mr. Victoria Williams left. Been gone for about a month and a half now. We ain't hiring anybody. There's only two people in the administration at Jackson State football, outside Coach Prime, and that's me and Victoria. Now it's just one person. It's Coach O. I'm trying to tell you something. I was reduced at one point. I felt like I was not worth what I thought I was worth. I felt like my next call was gonna be, you're done. We go find a new job. Because I kept the faith. All right. I kept believing. Yes, sir. Don't try to shut me out. But guess what? My table got bigger. He didn't think it was going to happen like that. He didn't think that, please, this is intimate conversation. We're recording this. Don't get it like that. I'm sharing something. He didn't think it was going to work out like this. But he didn't know the type of God I serve was the same type of God he served. So I just kept my head down. I got a mother, Miss Georgia Berry. She worked at Delphi Packard. Everybody listening to a lot of people know Delphi Packard. 36 years. My mother started off as one of the assembly line ladies, and no college degree, and she just worked. I would see my mother get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to work, and I didn't know, but 15 minutes away from the house, why she leaving so early for a 7 o'clock shift? Mother would get to work at 5 o'clock, and then she would come home till 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Mama working 12-hour days, and I didn't ask questions when I was younger. As I got older, I kind of started to understand what was going on. I didn't go to work so early. Say, this is how I got to this point I'm at. All right, what's this she was at. The mother went from being an assembly line worker to being a general supervisor at Jeff Pack. All right, 36 years. Went from being boom, 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 to calling the shots. Right? The reason I bring my mother up in this, and I know it's a men's conference, it ain't just the mother, it's that person in your life that you see, that you watch, that molds your leadership. Brother Jefferson molded my leadership. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of men in my life, coaches, that molded my leadership, that molded my lifestyle, that molded my thought process. You guys are somebody in somebody else's life that you are molding their thought process. You're molding how they're gonna walk. They're gonna emulate how you dress, they're gonna emulate that.
Right.
The very rhythm of your speech,
Right.
they're gonna copy that. What kind of example are you? So I watched my mother work her tail off to provide. So when I get up and go to work every day, in my mindset, and my mother was humble enough to go from top to bottom, well, bottom to top for 36 years, and get up and go to work 2 hours early and show that type of dedication. That's in my DNA. Why not use that to my advantage now? And so I watched that, and that's been a part of my growth as a professional. I'm gonna outwork you. And I would look every man in this room today and confidently say, no matter the terms, I will outwork you. And I'm not saying that from a cocky space. I'm saying it from a space I need you to accept that attitude in your life. You need to be able to look at the man next to you and say, guess what, my brother? I will outwork you. Y'all can feel it.
Yeah.
All right.
Get back to working.
Yeah.
Stop looking for results. Stop looking for handouts. Get back to work. Hey, I'm gonna wrap up with this last slide, but I want to tell y'all something, man. You know, growing up in the church, and I'm saying my lane. You know, everybody, you know, I grew up in the Baptist church, so you know how to do it. And so you get these preachers, and I know it's not anybody here, so don't even go there. You get these preachers that they want the biggest church before they ever lead anybody. Right? You get these coaches. I'm going there now. You get these coaches, they want the big program before they ever work at the D2 school. Right? A lot of us want to be kings. Just follow me now. A lot of us want to be kings. A lot of us want to be heirs to the throne. But you don't want to be the carpenter.
Okay. All right.
Come on. Come on now.
Right. Work it.
A lot of us want to be the top dog.
Come on.
Huh? Yeah. But you don't want to be the center line.
Come on.
Amen.
That's all I'm telling you, my brothers. Servant leadership. Servant first.
Yeah.
Be the carpenter first, man. Because guess what? It's a lot of wins in being a carpenter. It's a lot of wins in being a carpenter. One of my favorite sermons I heard the preacher preach before was he was telling how, you know, when you think about Jesus, you think about just he's the ultimate. He sacrifices. Just he's the ultimate. He's the king. Right? That's what you think about.
That's right.
But look at Jesus' life on earth. How much of that lifestyle look like king?
Come on.
How much of that lifestyle look like? I know I got some preachers in the building.
Yeah.
How much of his lifestyle look like a king lifestyle?
Right. No.
Right.
Did he have concubines and did he have servants? Or was he the servant?
He was the servant.
Amen.
Come on. He was the servant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's really that simple. If I'm gonna emulate somebody, I'm gonna emulate somebody.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When we died, and we a long way away from that time, right? What y'all still doing? Still talking.
Amen.
He was a servant first, man.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a servant first.
Yeah.
Key data summary for the matchup. So this is a page in the scout report that we usually get to, last page in the scout report, and it's just simply putting all the data from their games, all right, the opponent's games. We're collecting all that data. We're gonna put it in a format so our players can understand. Okay, they run cover 3 on first and second down. They like to go cover 0 on third down. They like to set dog blitz from the field on second and third down between 5 to 6 yard distance. Keep that. Like, so when I look, when you're on the field as a player, this page is designed to give you a cheat code. If they come out in aces, if they come out in 2x2, and they in pistol, 96% of the time is this. 47% of the time is this. The data. What does the data say? So servant leadership is just a couple things. All right? You gotta be a listener. You gotta be a listener. One thing about me, and I'm guilty of it, I like to get my point across. Me and my wife get to one of them arguments, because we do have it. I like to get my point across. And your point ain't gonna never get across to a woman. It's just like, it ain't gonna never get across. But one thing I've learned, she ain't never got mad at me for listening. That's right. Now she get mad at me for sitting there listening and ain't interacting. I ain't talking back. I ain't engaging. Comes up and sitting there in the wall. But if I'm actively listening, she ain't get mad about that. Right? So the first thing, servant leadership, you need to be able to listen. Because you're gonna have people that come into your life, they got problems that you can't imagine. I got players on that football team at Jack State right now that raised themselves since they were 15 years old. I couldn't fathom that. But they can fix it, they know how to do it, and they good. But when they come and talk to me about it, it's hard for me to give suggestions to a young man that's been on his own for 15, since he was 15. Right. It's hard for me to see that and process that and try to get this kid to the next level. So I got to figure out ways to help him. The only way you can figure that out is you listen to him. Because he don't tell you how you can help him. Right. But you got to listen. Next thing is empathy. What's the difference between empathy and sympathy? Anybody know? Feel. All right, so sympathy. Sympathy is, I feel sorry for you. I hate you in this situation. I need my servant leaders to be empathetic. What does that mean? That means, yeah, as much as I feel sorry for you, my brother, I want to help you. I ain't finna give you no money. I ain't got money to give you. But I do have some sound financial advice. You know what I mean? I ain't no relationship expert, but I do know what works for me and my family. Huh? I'm not a pastor, but I got a certain set of scriptures that get me through my day. Be empathetic. Help a brother out. Don't just get to the problem, see the problem, and let them dwell in the problem, and you know you can help them fix the problem. Now, sometimes you got to take another step and help them fix it. I ain't say get that business. I ain't say that. But as a man, we owe it to each other. If he's in your circle, he's supposed to be locked on with you. And when he slump over, you're supposed to pick him up. All right? Next thing, awareness. Be aware. All right? Awareness. Anybody play Madden? No? Yeah. So one of the key components on Madden is what? Awareness. If the awareness is low, it's going to be 3rd down and 10, and that DB supposed to be playing in coverage, and what are you going to do? He's going to be able to try to stop the run. Awareness is low. Right? This is awareness is low. Know the situation, know the room. If my awareness is low, I come in here today, first of all, not talking about servant leadership, and I'll be talking about something dealing with Women's Day, because my awareness is bad. You know what I mean? When I go in front of the team, we supposed to be playing Mississippi Valley, and I'm up here talking about Bethune-Cookman. My awareness is low. When it's 3rd down, like I said, I'm supposed to be in coverage. I'm up here playing a run because my awareness is low. When my wife ain't talking to me, and I'm coming in the house every day, and I ain't saying nothing to her, I'm just keep repeating this process, brother, your awareness is low. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Persuasion. Good and bad. Persuasion. If you're going to be a leader, you got to be able to persuade. Amen. You can't lead nobody if you can't convince them to follow. How do you convince them to follow? Is it with words or with action? Action. Words can get you there, but action don't get you through. Words can get you there. So they use car salesman, not they use car salesman, period. He gonna get you to the car lot. You already know what you like. You gonna look at the car. He gonna tell you about all the features, but you're still unsure. What are you gonna do next? You wanna tell you what test drive? He gonna work with you. He gonna persuade you. He gonna keep working on you. Then he gonna listen to you. And he gonna hear your wife say, I don't like this. So then he gonna go back to the well, I got one coming in from Minnesota. They gonna keep working. They gonna keep working on it. The art of persuasion really does help leaders cultivate their following. And when I mean cultivate, grow. You always want to grow. And I'm not talking about the number. I'm not talking about the number. I'm talking about that tree that you plant. Don't transplant the tree. Most time when you transplant a tree, what happens to the tree? It's gonna stunt and die. Grow where you are planted. Everybody got what I'm saying? I could have ran from Jackson State, but I sat there and I tried to grow where I was planted. And now the roots so deep, tornadoes will come through. I'm just gonna sway with this something. You know what I'm saying? Now, conceptualization, that goes back to what I just told you guys. You gotta see it. You gotta be able to visualize it. You gotta put it to paper, and whatever you put on paper, you gotta be able to explain it, discuss it, share those thoughts with others, and bring it to life. Then the next thing, foresight. A lot of men do not have foresight. All right. A lot of men do not, because men we're not emotional creatures as much as women are, but we like to feel. We like to feel like we're wanted. We like to feel like we are needed. You ever been in a house where you didn't feel like you're needed? All right. It'll take your masculinity down. You know that's what they want now. The world wants you to be less of a man. Right. The world wants the woman to run the house. Y'all can't say that? Right. They trying to give them the keys. But I promise you, there's room for men still in the world, baby. Because guess what? If you're a man, the men that really love their wives, and you're doing it the right way, you love your wife, right? She lets you be a man, don't you? Right. One thing I know about women and children, they want to be led. I'm sorry, they want to be led. All right? So, foresight. Make sure you have foresight. See the situation happening before it happens. Next thing, stewardship. That's a good word for us, right? Stewardship. I ain't gonna get into y'all know stewardship. I know y'all talk about that a lot. Commitment to the growth of people. Like I said, I'm all about my players in the end result. No, we got 22 singles. Man, I'm not crazy enough to think that 22 guys are going to go to the NFL. And I'm going to make sure I tell them, no, you ain't going to the league. Even if I think he's going to the league, I'm going to tell him, you're not going. James Houston came in. James Houston on 41 for one of the best players in the SWAC this year. Came from the University of Florida. Came to my office mad because he moved from linebacker to DN. Said, Coach, that's why I was shot at the NFL. I said, no, you ain't got no shot at the NFL. You just left Florida, came to Jackson State. But guess what? Me being real with him like that, it made him work hard. It made him go hard. I wasn't trying to crush his dream, but I need the Joe to stay home. No NFL wants you. He ain't made no plays yet. But guess what? He's gonna get an opportunity. He's gonna get his opportunity. But I ain't gonna let Joe come in my office. I'm gonna gas him up, and then he go on the field with my name on him, and I produce him. Commitment to the growth of people. I don't care who's in your circle. I don't care who you dealing with. Are you helping them grow? Are they helping you grow? If they ain't helping you grow, should they be in your circle? If they're not helping you grow, should they be in your circle? No. Man, it's really that simple. Some of y'all got some dead friendships, and you should let them circle around along with you. They in the car every day with you. They eating with you. It ain't paid for nothing. But they your boy. They been your boy. You pay as you go play golf. You pay for the round of golf. You want to go out of town and get some crawfish or something? You want to go get crawfish yourself. You want to go live crawfish and bring it back. You want to take him with you. He ain't gonna help with the gas. He gonna do a ride. And crack jokes. And have you saying stuff you ain't got no business saying. Make sure the people around you can help you grow. And you will help them grow. Last thing, building community. Yeah. Building community. Last thing though, and I want you guys to understand this, it's very important to all of us in this room. No matter how you look at it, black men, we gotta work on this. We gotta build our communities back up. They shot right there. And they know how to look at it. And if you sit in this room and you don't think you have an active role in helping build these jokers back up, you're wrong. If you call yourself a Christian, a child of God, if you're an heir to the throne, and you're not trying to build these communities back up, what's your purpose here? Servant leadership, guys, it has helped me go from a little boy in President Hills to Northwest Middle School, to Proline High School, to Mississippi State University, to Bell Haven, now into my professional career. It's all because of servant leadership. I ain't looked the best, I ain't talked the best, I ain't been the smartest, I ain't been the fastest, I ain't been the strongest, but I kept serving. And that's all I encourage you to do. Just serve. Be a good brother. There's still good room for that. Still a lot of room for that. Just being a good man. I appreciate the time. If you got questions, I would love to answer some questions. I'm more of a Q&A guy. This is definitely not something I do on a regular. If I do this type of stuff, this is in front of a football team. So I hope you enjoyed it. But I definitely want you guys to understand everything in my life, I owe it to God, and I owe it to the fact that I was blessed with men like Brother Jefferson in my life at an early age that showed me what good leadership looks like. Amen. And I guarantee you there's some guys in this room right now, outside of Brother Jefferson, that are impacting men every day. And they're watching you and how you move. And they're watching you and how you talk. And you don't realize the impact you're having on those dudes. No, stay encouraged. And if you're not encouraged, get encouraged. And if you don't know how to get encouraged, you better find it out. Because you're a man, you can go find it. Hello? I appreciate the time.
Well, BJ, it seems like that presentation went over pretty well. What do you think?
I think it was amazing. He had a lot of great things to say.
Well, it remains to be seen if the coaches and general managers, trainers, and all those who are present here today in this room will take away anything. They'll just continue to keep doing it their way. Well, we're going to take a break right here and pay our bills, and we encourage you to return with us in the sanctuary as we continue to talk about and review the conference standings. At this time, we are dismissed for 5 minutes until we assemble again in the sanctuary.